Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever wondered why simple physical actions, like, say, cutting a plastic toy, can completely hypnotize us? It's kind of wild, right? Well, today, we're diving into the surprisingly concrete science behind those little plastic snaps. If you enjoy real ASMR sounds and want to understand exactly why they work so incredibly well, you're absolutely in the right place. So let's just dive right in. Let's start with the core mystery here. Why does a seemingly mundane event like a plastic tomato separating or a toy carrot clicking create such a powerful, captivating moment for the brain? I mean, nothing dramatic is actually happening. A small knife quietly presses down, the sound arrives, and your brain just goes, yes, that was the moment. It feels incredibly satisfying, but why? What is actually happening underneath that simple, quiet sound? Toy cutting ASMR might look incredibly simple on the surface, but it actually relies on a highly effective neurological loop. We're talking about expectation, attention, and release. Think about it. Before the snap even happens, your brain is already predicting what's going to occur. You see the object, you see the hand, you just know the cut is coming. That prediction creates this tiny, delicate thread of attention. And when the sound arrives exactly where your brain expected it to, boom, the moment feels complete. It's a small, totally harmless sensory reward that requires absolutely zero complicated theory to enjoy. Section 1. The Science of ASMR, Physiological and Psychological Research. Let's get into it. To really understand why this loop works so well, we have to look at the broader science, which brilliantly illustrates that ASMR isn't just in your head, it's actually in your body. Back in 2015, a study by Barratt and Davis found that people commonly use ASMR for relaxation, sleep, and mood support. Then, a 2018 study by Poerio and colleagues demonstrated that ASMR responders actually showed a reduced heart rate and an improved positive mood while watching. It's literal relaxation. Plus, Fredborg's team in 2017 linked ASMR with personality traits like openness and sensory sensitivity. So, while these peer-reviewed studies weren't specifically about toy cutting, they absolutely proved the real physiological and mood benefits of gentle, predictable sensory content. So, the crucial point here is how toy cutting fits into all of this. Unlike emotional role plays or intimate whispers, toy cutting offers genuine physical clarity through a sort of triad of smallness. We're talking about a small object, a small action, and a small sound. You know, a whisper can feel a bit too personal, and a medical scenario might feel a little too intimate for some. But a toy cutting sound? It's entirely concrete. For a lot of viewers, that makes it incredibly low pressure. You don't have to navigate any tricky social interaction. You literally just get to sit back and enjoy the physical clarity of the object. Section 2. Your Brain on Predictions, the Neuroscience of Harmless Surprise. This brings us to a major aha moment in understanding our brains. Let's talk about predictive processing, a framework described by neuroscientist Carl Friston back in 2010. He basically defined the brain as a prediction machine, one that is constantly comparing expected sensory input with what actually happens in reality. Think about it. When you hear a loud, unexpected sound, it startles your nervous system, right? But a soft, expected snap does the exact opposite. Your brain is anticipating it, comparing the expectation to reality, and finding pure, comforting safety in the result. It explains exactly why our attention stays so effortlessly hooked. The very best ASMR triggers thrive right in this middle ground. They give your brain just enough predictability to feel perfectly safe, but just enough variation to stay interesting. You know a sound is coming for sure, but you don't know its exact texture. Will it be a crisp click, a hollow pop, a soft split, or maybe just a tiny scrape? That small little bit of harmless surprise keeps your attention fully alive without triggering even an ounce of anxiety. All right, moving on to Section 3, Sound Texture and Repetition, Anatomy of a Snap. Let's dive deeper here. So how does this actually play out? Well, a simple toy cutting explainer naturally guides your brain through 4 specific steps. First, the visual scene prepares you. You've got bright toy foods, clean cutting boards, simple colors. You instantly know what you're looking at. Second, the hand movement builds the timing. Third, the cut itself creates that much-needed release. And fourth, the sound confirms the prediction. And then, the loop just starts all over again. This is exactly why repetition doesn't feel boring in this context. If the timing is comfortable, repetition transforms into this beautiful, calming rhythm. Your brain can just kick back and settle right into the pattern. Sound texture absolutely matters here. Because plastic snaps are short and defined with distinct edges, they're incredibly easy for your ear to track. The sound begins, peaks, and ends quickly. It doesn't linger awkwardly like a bad musical note. It's crisp and it's final. And this is especially true when it's contrasted with all the softer sounds around it. You know, the light scraping, the tiny taps, or the soft handling of the plastic. Those build up a contrast. So when that main, sharp snap finally arrives, it feels profoundly satisfying. But remember, the exact same sound can totally fail if it's too sharp or chaotic. There is a really strict dichotomy here between noise and ASMR. Think about it. Noise demands your attention. It's loud, it's fast-paced, it's random, and it's chaotic. You obviously can't relax if every single movement feels like a sensory assault. ASMR, on the other hand, invites your attention. It uses soft pacing. A truly satisfying snap needs softness around it, deliberate pacing, and plenty of space before and after the sound. That vital feeling of safety and space is exactly what separates a harsh noise from a relaxing ASMR trigger. Section 4. Safe Listening Guidelines, Practical Application. Having solved the sensory mystery, let's look at how to safely apply these insights. Now, it is absolutely crucial to remember that ASMR is a complementary wellness tool. It's not magic, and it's definitely not medicine. There are no clinical trials out there proving that toy-cutting ASMR treats insomnia, anxiety, or stress. Furthermore, ASMR responses vary wildly from person to person. While many of us find it deeply relaxing, some people might actually find plastic sounds super irritating or tense. It all comes down to how your own unique nervous system responds. If you do use toy-cutting ASMR to unwind, here are 5 actionable steps to really maximize that calm attention. First, lower the volume. Honestly, the best ASMR is usually a lot softer than you think it should be. Second, watch one object at a time and really notice that split second before the cut. Third, pay attention to your body. Does your jaw loosen up, or does the sound actually irritate you? Listen to what your body is telling you. Fourth, whatever you do, do not force the tingles. Just having calm attention is entirely enough. And fifth, use a timer, especially if it's bedtime. Let the sound help you transition toward rest rather than trapping you in an endless doom scroll. I absolutely love this thought. Sometimes completion is exactly what calm feels like. A plastic snap might be this tiny, seemingly insignificant thing in the grand scheme of the world, but when the timing is right, the brain treats it exactly like a completed sentence. It offers a perfectly wrapped, predictable conclusion, which just beautifully summarizes the power of these harmless little sounds. It's a tiny bit of order in a very chaotic world. As we wrap up this explainer for Slice Therapy ASMR, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Which toy cutting sound is actually most satisfying to you? Is it the initial press of the knife, the sharp snap itself, or that final reveal of the split toy? Let us know what you think. Keep exploring the fascinating science behind the sounds we love, stay curious about what brings you calm, and I will catch you in the next explainer.